Morning or afternoon, guys. My name is AermanReid, and I'm going to be giving you an in-depth guide to the Minstrel's Ballad, Hydaelyn's Call, High End Duty for the Endwalker expansion. Now, this just came out, and not a lot of people have gotten to do it yet, so it can be very confusing for old and new players. So hopefully this guide is found useful, and you give it a like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And also be sure to check out our Twitch channel, where this was all streamed at twitch.tv/AermanReid, where you can raid with us, hang out, all that good stuff. We give out high fives and cookies. So the first thing that you're going to want to do whenever you're getting into this trial, savage, whatever you want to call it, extreme, is you're going to want to go ahead and get into two groups. We went ahead and assigned the group numbers on the healers just because we found that the easiest, as one of the mechanics is set on the healers. So that makes it a lot easier. Also, make sure that you are assigning yourselves some clock spots so that you know where to go for other attacks and positional type things. So, once you have your clock spot and you have assigned your groups, we're going to go ahead and start the fight. I'm playing this fight at 50% speed just so that I can explain everything and make it as easy as possible for everybody to follow along. So, the fight begins, and make sure you do all your typical pre-pull stuff. What you're going to want to do is you're all going to want to stack behind the boss, especially if there's an Astro, because they should be placing their star in the middle for this first AoE attack that will be popping up in just one moment, called Hero's Radiance. This is a very strong raid-wide AoE attack. Not AoE. It's just a raid-wide attack that does a ton of damage, so make sure that one of the healers is ready to heal that. You're going to want to do an instant heal. You're not going to want to do regen because we have another attack that is a stack coming up right now called Shining Saber. You're all going to want to take this, so pop your damage mitigation as well. With Sage, I have damage mitigation as well as regen. So does Scholar. I don't know about the other two, but go ahead and pop that. Now you can do your regen. Because the next move that we have coming up is going to be called Crystallize. And what Crystallize is the beginning of a random kind of attack. So it can be one of three things, and then it can be another one of three things. So the first thing we have is the water, okay? So I'm going to rewind it a little bit. We have this water here for Crystallize. And what the water means, you'll see the water bubbles pop up. What the water means is that you're going to be stacking with your group. So you see this water right here that's all popping up and it's all aqua-y. That means that you're going to be stacking. So if you see the water, that means that you're going to be stacking. The next thing are these two little magic green icons. If you see the magic green icons, that means that you're going to be running away from her because she's doing an AoE attack directly on her. Okay, so to go over this one more time, Crystallize, she's going to be giving you a tell of which attack she's going to do. So Crystallize is going to be telling you either water, rock, or ice. And then the next thing she does is the AoE attack. So far we are stacking and we are running away. So I'm running away because I don't want to get caught up in the middle. I'm also aware that I have my melee DPS, so I'm trying to accommodate to them to make sure they can keep their uptime. So she does the attack, and then the water drops, and it hits all of us. So make sure you're paying attention. Water means stack, and then look for the AoE attack that comes after. Next, we have Imago's Radiance, which is another raid-wide attack, so make sure that you heal and pop damage mitigation for that as well. At this point, would be a good idea to do a regen, just because the next attack isn't coming for another little while, because we have another Crystallize. Oh, I'm sorry. Errol. Errol is going to be a humongous AoE attack that you are only safe on the east and west of her. Errol is east and west, as you can see in that attack right there. I'm going to play it back one more time. Errol is east and west, okay? There is another version of this, which is lateral Errol. And lateral Errol is the same thing, except it's north and south, not east and west. Okay, now we have another Crystallize. And with this Crystallize, We are going to be looking again for what she's doing. This time it's ice. Okay, you see all this ice around her? That is telling us that we are going to be doing a spread. Okay, all this ice we are going to be spreading after this AoE attack that she's doing. And the AoE attack is going to be the shield. Okay, so the shield, this red right here, means that it's going to be a donut AoE. Okay, so we'll pay attention. Donut AoE, then we need to go to our clock spots and spread for the ice. And it's dropping now. Everybody gets hurt. And then we are going back to the middle so that all of the healers can get off their heals for this next attack. Mawaza's Scorn is a tank stack attack where both tanks need to be on that marker, and only the tanks. They eat that. We got to make sure that we're topping everybody off because we have another, I think it's lateral arrow right here. Exactly, yes. So lateral arrow is going off now. We are going north and south of Hydaelyn. And you will see here the AoE attack. Same thing as arrow, just lateral. So north and south as opposed to east and west. Next, we should have another Crystallize. And again, with Crystallize, we are paying attention to see if it is either rock, ice, or water. If it is water, again, we are stacking. If it is ice, we are spreading. And if it is rock, then we are going to group stack in the middle. So this is water. So we know that we're going to be going into our small groups. And then the next thing is going to be the blue sword. Okay, now if it's the blue sword, and I'm going to go back so you can see it. If it is the blue sword, then that means we are going to be going north, south, east, and west of those. So the counter, what is it? Counter, what's it called? Counter cardinal. Or yeah, counter cardinal positions. So northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest positions of that attack. So make sure you're doing that so that you avoid it. It is pretty big. But so make sure that you are not in the way. And then follow the stack accordingly. But the one thing that you have not seen so far is you have not seen the rock stack. If it is rock, like what's it called? What's his name? Titan. Go in the middle for everybody to stack. Next is a big raid-wide attack, and this is where we get into the quote-unquote second phase of the fight. These crystals, okay? Now, there's going to be 2 adds that spawn, these Echo of Hydaelyns. Each tank needs to take their own. But then the other important thing about this for everybody else is at this point, you will see that there are crystals that are glowing and shining and have beams of light going up to them more than any others. So you see how here in this exact moment, beam of light, beam of light, beam of light, and this one here, for example, does not have a beam of light. Make sure that you, DPS, are taking out these glowing ones. You can take them out one at a time, which is probably the best. And then you can like work left to right or whatever. Or you can hit them all, you know. I don't think it really matters, but I do think that for the, you know what, it does matter. It's best to take them out one at a time because I'll explain why in a minute. So we're going to take out this one first is what we should be doing. But I'm kind of trying to attack and focus on my tank at the same time. But the tanks are going to position themselves in a way so that they are not feeding off of the crystals. So you see how there's this beam that's attached to the adds? You want to get rid of the crystals so they cannot do that because that is what is feeding this conviction bar. And look at the tanks. As we are destroying them, the tanks need to be taking the echoes to the dead crystals so that this bar does not keep filling. So the tanks right now should be over here. They should be over by this dead crystal right now, but they're just taking a little bit of time to get there. Also healers. These adds do a ton of damage to the tanks, so make sure that y'all are constantly healing. Not constantly, but make sure that you're healing your tanks, making sure that they're okay. Especially Dark Knight, since they suck. So make sure that y'all are dealing as much damage as possible with the crystals. Make sure that you're healing your tanks. And make sure that you're doing this quickly. Otherwise, if this conviction hits 100, the raid is over and you die. So just knock out these crystals and you're good to go. So I'm just going to speed it up a little bit because we're just taking out the crystals. Nothing crazy is happening. We're just taking them out, and the bars, the tanks are slowly rotating the whole time. Tanks are rotating the whole time, you know, trying to make sure that this bar does not fill. So keep the tanks by where the dead crystals are. Then you're going to want to kill the ads. Make sure that this conviction does not get to 100. Once you kill the ads, she's going to do the move conviction, where she's going, depending on how high that bar is how powerful the attack is going to be. You're going to want to do as much damage mitigation here as possible. Paladins, make sure you do your cool angel wing move, and everybody else, make sure they all pop off all y'all's group mitigation as possible, because it is a very strong, big attack. Luckily, I had a really great group, and we had it on lock, so we didn't have much trouble with it at all. But it does do a lot of damage. So we have a ton of shield right now, and we take about, let's see. Okay, so we lose a good bit of health. But just make sure to get that back real quick. So now we are moving on to the quote-unquote third phase of the fight, which is going to be the waves, okay? And the waves are a lot of fun. I really like the waves. They are very cool. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get back into your normal positions, you know, where you're right behind her. Because I think the very first thing that she's going to do is, I'm pretty sure it's a stack attack, but I could be wrong. Okay, no, it's Halo. So Halo is going to be a raid-wide attack it hurts everybody. It's a good amount of damage, but it's setting up for waves. So we take that raid-wide. Pop a regen here. You don't need to pop an instant heal. Just pop a regen. Then we have Light Wave. Light Wave is going to be the waves that will spawn and will cause trouble for you, that will also pop with these crystals. Now, this is a complicated part, okay? So pay attention to this right here, okay? So I'm going to slow it down a little bit just so that you can see and you can understand the judgment with this. So she spawns 2 waves. You see how there's 2 waves over on this side and there's just open space on this side? You're gonna want to go to the side that does not have a wave, the crystal side that does not have a wave, and you're going to want to protect yourself as natural as you might think. When a wave hits a crystal, it does a raid-wide attack, but if you're positioned properly, it will not hit you. So you see how this wave right here is about to hit this crystal? We are safe from it because we are hiding behind the crystal at this angle. So you're going to be constantly going behind the crystals at the right angle to avoid the damage. So see, we don't take damage. Now the next wave is hitting the next crystal. We are going to be getting behind it on this side so that the wave directly in front of us does not hit us. Now this is the part where a lot of people mess up on. Okay, so in Fractal Arc is going to be cleaves for each group, okay? So me and the healers go to the middle crystal. The DPS stay on that first one, and the tanks go to the last crystal, the one on the far left, okay? And I will show you a diagram of this, but DPS are all together on one crystal behind, tanks are behind another crystal, and healers are behind the middle crystal, okay? It's very important. If you don't do this right, you will die. So make sure that you're doing this part right. Because also the wave does hit that last crystal. Okay, so next we have Light Wave again. Make sure that you're popping off a heal. It can be an AoE here. I'm sorry, a regen instead of just like a flat out heal. But make sure that you are popping that off. And then we are gonna have another 4 waves that spawn with some more crystals popping up. So this time you have 5 crystals. And then this time you're going to also have 3 waves. So as you can see, I'm acknowledging the waves. You're going to want to pay attention and stay on this middle crystal. But now we have a move called Hero's Glory. Hero's Glory is a ginormous cleave that is directly in front of her. So make sure that you're not in front of her for the Hero's Glory attack. Okay, so she's going to pop that off. We have a wave coming in, so we have to move quick. So she's going to do Hero's Glory. She's going to attack. We are going to look and see which wave, which part of the crystal we need to get behind. And it is going to be at this very moment the northeast side of the crystal. So we are getting behind that while also maintaining damage upkeep. The wave is going to hit. We are protected, except for that one guy. Actually, I think he somehow did not get hurt. Then we have this wave coming in, so we're going to scooch over. Make sure that we dodge that. And then we have to move again because the wave now behind us is going to hit another crystal. So we are going through diagonally the middle crystal so that we dodge the attack that is now behind us happening on that back crystal. And then we are going to go to the right of where we are right now left, so that we dodge that last wave as well. And we are protected by the crystal again. Very good. And then she's going to do another Hero's Glory. We need to get behind her right where that wave is now. We have to get behind that crystal because remember, there's a third wave coming in right now that is going to attack. So we need to get behind the crystal. We need to get behind her because watch, there's going to be a wave hitting in 3, 2, 1, and the wave hits now. Along with her Hero's Glory. So the wave hits and you got to make sure that you're behind that for that. Okay, let me speed it back up again. So now we're back up to half speed. And we did that great. We did a good job, so hooray. We have Halo, which is another raid-wide AoE. Or I'm sorry, not AoE, it's just a raid-wide attack, so make sure you top off your team. Give them some health, damage mitigation, whatever. Our small fry guy got blasted. Rest in peace to the samurai. But next we have Hero Sundering. You do not want to be anywhere around the tank. Just a typical tank buster. You may need to do a tank swap here. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see. Okay, no, there's no tank swap. So he just eats that. Just make sure you're not in front of the tank whenever that happens. Next thing we have is Shining Saber, which we all know is just going to be a stack with the team. Gotta make sure that you mitigate the damage for that. It is gonna hurt a good bit, but now it's pretty much on repeat. So that's, oh no, there is another mechanic, I'm sorry. So now we have the shield. We're going to be getting in for that because it is the donut AoE. And then we should be having Moaza Scorn, which we know is the tank stack, only the tank stack on that. So make sure that you are nowhere near that unless you are a tank. Make sure that you're topping off your tanks with heals, because in a moment we will be having a new mechanic called Parleon or Pantheon, whatever it's called. It's just these things. Now, the way that it's best to go about this is the following, okay? And this can be a little bit complicated. I struggle with this just a tiny bit. But she's basically going to put out these AoEs that are going to send out these razors, these spinning discs that are going to hurt. Pay attention to the order that they go in, because that is the order in which you'll need to, or that's how you'll need to be moving. So you want to go where the combination of the first one and the third one is. Ranged DPS and group 2 healer are going to go to the wall, okay? Melee DPS are going to be right up on her, because now watch. It's water. She did water with that, okay? So if you see her doing Crystallize right here, she should be casting Crystallize. And we know with Crystallize, she's going to give us a tell. So Crystallize, her sign is water, so that means to stack. So what's going to happen is these razors are going to move, and we need to move quickly, okay? Because it's going to go off to the right first, and then we are going to have to move to the right. Now, Super Polyon, that is just the razor attack. So as soon as it moves, as soon as it goes, or to the left, we need to move. Because with stack happened, we got hit with it, and then we get out of the way before these razors hit us, okay? So that was very good. And then we have a lateral arrow. So there's a lot going on right here, but it's not bad. Remember, ranged attackers are on the wall. Melee is up on her. You take the stack. I think it's always going to be water. And then you move over as fast as you can. Scholars with their level 90 speed move is very helpful here. And then you have a lateral arrow. And I'm imagining that could be either lateral or it can just be regular arrow. I got hit by that. That was baloney. I should not have gotten hit. But, yes, so just be aware of that. There's a lot going on right there. Just pay attention. And there is a green magic staff, which we know is a AoE attack on her. So make sure that you are moved away. Jane got blasted. So just pay attention to that and make sure that you're aware for that. But that is a prog in itself. Just doing that. Mago's Radiance is next. It's just a raid-wide attack, so make sure that everybody's topped off. For that, And then the next thing that we have coming up is going to be Crystallize. So again, mechanics that we're familiar with, it's pretty much all on repeat now. There is going to be one thing different that is up here. Okay, so it's ice. So this is the exact thing I was talking about that is going to be different. Paralytic circle. So she did a Crystallize, as you saw. So we'll do this in half speed. So she did Crystallize, and we saw that it was ice. Okay. It is ice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we remember that, because now we have this parallax circle. Okay. And what the parallax circle is it is going to draw lines as to where there are going to be AoE circle attacks. So make sure that you are not on a line for this. Okay. Because you do not want to get hit by one of these AoE attacks. Otherwise, you will die on the ice. Make sure that you spread, go to your clock spots, whatever, for this ice attack coming in right now. If you do stack like the tanks did here, as you can see, you will die. Doesn't matter who you are. And then you have an arrow, which is an east and west of her position. That is a boss relative attack. So if it needs to be to the east or west of her. So that is that. And then after that, it's pretty much done deal. It's not necessarily easy, but it's pretty much a done deal. Then she has the sword, so you're going to want to get to the northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest of her. It is big. Like, as you can see there, I thought I was good. It is a very big attack. So make sure that you're giving yourself a good amount of space. I'm pretty sure the healer does the LB3. Yeah. Healers do an LB3 here. So, sorry, I yawned. It's in the morning. Next is going to be Radiant Halo, which is going to be another raid-wide attack. It is going to do a lot of damage, so make sure that you are mitigating damage for that. And casting your regen, it does hurt. Then we're going to have our Light Wave again. And this time with the waves, it is going to be different. This time with the waves, you're going to need to pay attention to something. The only way that I can do it right in my case is I have to see which waves have the greatest distance in between them. And so far for me right now, that is this one here. So in this corner right here, I'm going. We all need to go. We all got to go into that corner where number 1 is going right now, the other healer. But I'm looking to see which ones have the most space, because these waves are coming in at the exact same time. And we need to make sure that we are in the corner, because the waves are coming in all of these directions, and there's only one corner safe in this whole area from the waves. In a moment, we're going to be given a stack, which you need to mitigate hardcore. It's similar to E12 Savage's Oracle of Darkness right at the end attack. Not nearly as heavy, but, you know, just as a reference. So it's one of these multi-hit stack markers, so make sure that you mitigate the damage for that accordingly. And then just cast some regen. And then you need to move away as fast as possible after, because now you have these AoEs and the tank stack. So make sure that you're getting away from your teammates so you don't kill them, and you are doing that correctly. Now, while that was all going on, she put 4 more waves in, okay? And the only place that's safe is the middle. So you need to all go to the middle for that, because the 4 waves will kill you if you are not in the middle. You will die. Then we have a Crystallize coming up, and we are paying attention to what she's going to be doing. Or Crystallize is water, which we know is stack. And so we are going to be paying attention to what she is doing next. Unless it is, of course, just a attack right here, but I doubt it. So after the Shining Saber, we need to be splitting up for the stack. So Shining Saber, and then we need to split up for the stack into our groups. My group, everybody's just kind of messed up, but it's okay, we lived. And then it is a donut attack. So make sure that you're getting in for the donut attack. Make sure that you're responding correctly to the Crystallizes. Otherwise, you will die like my friend Narek. Although I don't think it was his fault. I think his group didn't go with him. So, after that, you've pretty much won. After all of that, you've pretty much got it. Now it's just repeating the same stuff, although it does kind of go up on the difficulty / speed scale. This is full speed now, by the way. It looks like I'm fast forwarding it. It's crazy, but this is regular speed. So we're looking for the waves. We find the safe spot with the waves. We are in the safe spot. We have the echo deal. Make sure that you pop off your damage mitigation for this. Once you have done your damage mitigation, make sure that you're running away so that you do not get hurt. And then after you've done that, heal accordingly. Make sure you pop in your damage mitigation, your regen, all that good stuff. And pay attention to the Crystallize. We already know what to look for. Water, ice, or rock. That is ice. We are going to be spreading. And it is a lateral arrow, which is north and south. After you have done the attack properly, spread for the ice, drops the ice. And then after that, we are seeing that it is the green staff, which we know is a circle on her. Jane got blasted again. And then after you do that, it's pretty much GG. You can LB3, do whatever you want. But it's just, you know, copy and paste the same stuff that you've already seen. Another Crystallize. Here's the rock, finally. And if it is the rock, you are going to be stacking in the middle. So arrow, we know is east and west. And then we are stacking in the middle, oopsie daisies, for the attack. And then you've won. Congratulations. Yay. The pop off right there. Guys, thank you all so much for watching this guide. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed it or found it helpful, leave a like. Make sure you go check out the Twitch channel, leave a follow, and all that good stuff. Say hi. We stream every day doing the in-game content and Endwalkers. So I do hope to see y'all there. Thank you so much again for watching the video. I hope that y'all had a good time. Have an amazing rest of y'all's day, and I will see y'all later, guys. Good night. Goodbye.